Hello and welcome to Feasibility.pro. In this short video, we are going to talk about zero-sum cash flow. How does this zero-sum cash flow should be analyzed, and should you ever invest in a zero-sum cash flow? And in what situation you will encounter a zero-sum cash flow? So we will see all of this. In reality, I faced this problem, but my problem was different. I knew that how to analyze this zero-sum cash flow. But what happened, I just went ahead and calculated the IRR, and I got the IRR as 0. So I was really very confused because I have written a lot on this NPV and IRR relation, and how does this multiple sign changes in the cash flow impacts the IRR calculation. You can have multiple IRRs and everything, but simply the IRR was 0 and there was a positive NPV. So I went to LinkedIn and I posted this problem, which got a good response. We got 10,000 plus views and a lot of comments on this one, that this basically the IRR is not the right thing to look at. And in some situation, exactly, we should not look at the IRR because it does not make any sense. But in reality, we will encounter at a certain point of our career such cash flows where the NPV is positive and the sum of the cash flow itself is 0, and we don't need to calculate the IRR because it is a meaningless calculation. So I have an Excel problem to demonstrate this. How does this work? So let's go to Excel. This is the Excel problem I have. Just for the sake of it, I have assumed a discount rate of 5%, and these are my cash flows, and sum of these cash flows is 0. So I have calculated here the sum, which is 0. Now I'm going to calculate the present value of this 1 plus the discount rate, and to the power we will put the time, which I have put it here. So I'll just drag this formula and we will see that it has a positive NPV. This is basically the NPV, sum of all the PVs, but this is a zero-sum cash flow. And if you use the general NPV formula of Excel, so I have the discount rate, which is 5%, and then I have the values, I have the values here, and I just add back the first cash flow. So you get exactly same number here, what you have here. And if you use the IRR formula of the cash flows, you will see that I got a 0 IRR, which is basically by the definition of IRR, this looks very odd, but we should not be bothered by the IRR calculation. My focus is this, that if in my career I get a cash flow which looks like this and has 0, sum of this cash flows is 0, what is the investment merit of this cash flow? Yes, this cash flow has an investment merit, and definitely the NPV is this much, 12,958, and it simply means that I'm getting interest-free loan, and this basically signifies this, that the interest is 0, and I'm getting interest-free loan, and then I'm repaying this loan. I'm not paying any interest because the sum is 0. And to demonstrate this, I have actually, you will think from where I got these cash flows. So just to explain, I actually assume that, okay, there is a loan at 5% interest, and what is the repayment of this loan if I have to repay in 3 years? So I have used the formula PPMT, and for the interest I have used IPMT. So what I did, I put this number here, and I just reverse the cash sign here. So the sum of this is 0. So what is happening, I'm taking a loan and I'm repaying the loan, but I'm not repaying the interest during this duration. But there can be other situation you will encounter where it's still a zero-sum cash flow, but the order of cash flow is not like this. I mean, first the positive and then the negative. You can end up in a situation where you have all the negative first and then you have the positive, and then the sum is 0, and the same calculation I have done here, and you get a negative NPV of 12,350. And it simply means that somebody else is taking interest-free loan from you. So this is a very interesting thing. I mean, IRR is a really meaningless number in this situation, and we need to only consider the NPV to analyze this type of cash flows. Now the question arises that, okay, will I ever encounter such cash flows in my career, in my lifetime? And the answer is yes, definitely you will encounter such cash flows. I mean, I came to this conclusion or this zero-sum cash flow because I had a construction contract where two contractors had different payment terms, slightly different payment terms. And I just found the variance of this cash outflows for me, and I was trying to find out how to analyze this variance. And this is the same problem what I got here. Is exactly the same problem I have here. So you see the NPV is 12,958 and your IRR is still 0. Hope you have enjoyed this video on zero-sum cash flow. Thanks.